Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham, and boy have things changed. You may be able to see through the trees the slight bit of difference from this episode to the next, but anyways we've had to buy a new bucket for the stones that we tipped on the floor, and we've also got ourselves a grab for the trees. And if you look there you can see a new building poking through, and you'll also see another new building. So we've had all plannings being passed and we've had the construction done and completed. So this first building that we've got, this is so we can now produce our own lime. So we should never have to buy lime again, which to me that sounds like a fairly solid investment. And it's one of, well, it's like I said, it's one of the reasons of why we've got this bucket. So the stones that we have left here, we can now pick up and move. Obviously we took that tree down there, so we've got that bit of timber there to decide what we're going to do with. I think personally it may just be best to either chip it or leave it there until we build up a load more. We've also had a bit of a disaster. So with all this good fortune, and this is why we decided that we should get a bale store pretty much done, is if you look where you can just see under the shed, if we hop out, we had some really strong winds come through and it knocked all our bales over, and it's why we've also bought a bale grab. So this can stack 4 high, so we're going to have to sort all these bales out and bring them into the shed to tidy up all this. And it's also been a brilliant place so that we can put the combine's header away. With doing the lime, we are going to be buying, so my plan is there should be enough room to put another shed here at some point, but I would also like to get a buying station put up, so then that empties that shed up there, so we don't have to store that with seed, fertiliser and the like, so we then can use that for all our equipment. So we are gaining a shed by building one like I say, it's a products buy. But I think there's not really much more we can do. I completely missed the stones there. There isn't really much more that we can do than try tidy up what stones are on the floor here, get them into this production, and we can get this going, because as far as I remember it only needs stones to work, so all the water is plumbed in. We need to sort those bales out, and then also keep an eye on our worker. Because he's currently stone picky again for us, because we finished that last contract, which brought in, did it bring in 6 and a bit thousand stones? But right, let's just have a look in here, see what's happening. If I can find the trigger. There we go. So stones, storing, let's activate. So it'll be a fair big saving. You would think how much lime we hopefully should be able to produce. It should save us a fair amount. Then obviously, like I said, this bucket, so it's worth just buying the bucket for that, and then also if we need it for log work. But right, let's get on and let's move some of these bales. This could be a bit painful. Well, that took far longer than what I anticipated. Oh, I've got an extra bale up there. I didn't realise I had that there. So these others, we can just stack these in piles of 4 very quickly. So I would presume that we won't need that other bale grab of ours, because if we're using the Arcuzon, which stands them upright, this will be the best thing for getting them stood up, getting 4 at a time. So I would imagine we can go and sell that big flat, the flat bale grab that we've got, which I do really like it, and I got that in anticipation because I'd love to get the Crone square baler with the attachment on the back where you can put 3 bales together. So that was my original intention, was to get that. But let's just now pull this into here. Yeah, just ignore my bale stacking there. That was terrible. You do have, so this comes with the map, does this shed. You can have a shed where it auto loads them in, but I thought let's try it with this one. If not, we'll go for we can just swap it out for the auto stacker one. So I have a feeling that our worker may be full. So do we go and take him a trailer, or will he be on his way back here to us now? Nope, here he is, he's tipping, so we're going to swap over. There isn't much of the contract left to do, but we might as well just go do it and then we can move on. So give him a bit of a, well, very early finish, 9 minutes past 9. But yeah, so we'll just bob to that field quickly and see how much there is left to do. But I imagine 3%, there can't be much. So this is where he left off here. So I don't think we should need GPS, do we? Or is it worth just always setting up just to make life that little bit easier? And we'll just get all this gathered up. So do tell me, how is everyone finding the series? Are you all enjoying it? Are you enjoying how we're doing it? Obviously I'm doing it slightly differently to Alma. Which they both, I would say they both have their benefits. Well, anyways, let's quickly just gather this up and we will then move on, unless there is a decent contract lurking that we haven't seen just yet. And the last little bit before we then collect on this contract. This wouldn't be a bad little field to buy. It's just a shame that it's terrible soil. The closer you get to this river, the worse the land gets. So let's get this now folded up, and we can. Whoa, we've built up a fair amount of stones already, and it doesn't really feel like we've done anything. Right, let's go to here. So this is another nearly £19,000 to collect, and let's see if there's anything that's worth doing. I think we've done plenty of bale wrapping, so I don't think we need to do that. Cultivating, we've done plenty of that. That's sugar beet. More sugar beet. They're in some decent sized fields. Ooh, I'm just thinking 46 and 45. Do we be really cheeky here? 45, 11 acres, and we've got oh no, we're not gonna be able to afford that one. But what this for 87 off, so that gets to 200. And I thought we were gonna be able to be really cheeky and buy one of those fields with sugar beeting, which is still possible, but we'd have to. I'm not doing ploughing. Stone picking, that would take forever. Grass tedding, ploughing, I don't think it's going to be viable unless we were to go harvest it for somebody else. No, let's get back. We'll go park this up at our house, and then that's we'll call it a do for today, and then we'll sleep and see what tomorrow brings us. What a miserable day. This is just ridiculous. I'll tell you what though, the lighting, we've got to be careful there. The lighting and how everything is, I think is fantastic. You'll see, the wet texture on these, especially if you're looking at it in 4K. I think that's amazing. Right, we are going to go. First job we're going to go do is there's another stone picking contract in field 40. So we're going to accept that whilst we're here, and that's a nice job that we can get on, so we can do a load out of it, and then we can send the worker back. He can then do another load, and then our cows need feeding because they are down to 8,000 litres I think, and they are due some offspring, so I want to make sure that they're as fit as possible. I can't believe how dark it is. Let's get these lights on. So we'll unfold. I just hope we have enough traction in this field. Steering assist 2. Let's turn it on and drop it down, and let's see how this goes. It shouldn't be too bad. So we almost had a full load just by doing 2 headlands. That's ridiculous. I hope we've got enough storage in this line production, which will be interesting. I haven't opened it up to have, well, I haven't opened up the menu to have a look at actually how it's getting on, but I think we're going to just take that now back to the yard, and then like I said, the worker, he can come off and do the middle of the field, and if he gets full we may swap over again. But the one thing I'm very conscious of is our cows need a bit of food, because the last thing we want is for them to go hungry, especially with some young on the way. So we'll just pull into here like so. It's becoming very congested is this yard now, especially when we eventually get, because I think we can get one more shed in, then we'll have to look at moving elsewhere, and by the time we get one more shed in there it's going to be tight, but I think it's, well, definitely miles better how it is now. But right, let's, oh, did we not collect that contract? Yeah, we did. What's going on in field 50 then? Don't say they're saying another stone contract. Oh, a sowing contract. Oh, that wouldn't have been too bad, but like I say, we got rid of our drill. So productions, lime. So we have 19,000 litres of lime. I think after this we won't need to do any more stone collecting, because we'll just have too much lime, especially with what's in the shed. I do love these raindrops on the floor. This is something amazing about this rain. But right, he's going to get off. We are going to go jump in the telehandler, which obviously is around here, and we need to go, well, we can use these forks, I guess. And then we'll go up to the top, load up with some silage, and then bring that down and feed the cows. So if I just leave this grab here and then move this one out of the way, like I said, this one will be going to be sold, so we don't need to worry too much, but it'll be a lot easier for me if I can take, I imagine should be able to do 3 at a time, that if I can take 3 in one go. So let's leave that there. That'll be amples to see them through. We should probably look at doing some TMR at some point, because we've got all the capabilities. The only thing we'll need to do is to get ourselves a grass field again, because we can't just keep cutting this grass that we are doing. So let's hope we can lift 3. Yes, of course we can. So there's 19,500 litres here that we're about to go give them. But as soon as this runs out, we are going to have to, well, before it runs out, we're going to have to look at making some more at some point. It's days like today where you wish you had a shed, so you could bring all your cows in, because it wouldn't be too hard a job to run them straight across down here, especially with our herdman stick, to get them into a shed closer to home, just to keep them sort of where it's dry. Right, let's put this down here, like so. Take our grab off if we can. There we go. Let's release both of them. And then we will have to do one at a time to get it into here. This is where just the normal bale grab, well, the bale spike would be superior, but to get 3 it's a lot easier when you know that they're secure on your spikes. Now let's put this into here, like so, and we'll grab this next one. And we should have some very happy cows. Right, we'll put this in and then we'll go for the last one. And now the final bale. And then that should keep these lot happy for a while. So as we pull out, we'll have to remember to close the gate. Our worker is doing a very good job by the looks of it, unless he's just stopped there doing nothing. I'd say that's a lovely, that would have been a lovely screenshot. But right, let's close this. And then we'll have to have a look to see if there's any other contracts that would be worth doing whilst our workers in there, because wet weather like it is today, there isn't much you can really do. I think the best thing to do is to bring all our bales, all our straw bales, get them back to the yard. I know there's some up at the top, but all they're going to do is get wet and minging. So it's not a bad little job to do whilst this rain's pouring, and it gives our workers some time to get on with that contract, because obviously we can't move on to December, which will be selling time, until he's done. Which it may be. Let's have a look at what prices that things are selling for, because if it is a good price, it may be worth us just to go and sell something today. Ooh, and that's not coming off my forks. You know when you're just having one of those days where nothing works out for you? I cannot believe how terrible that has been. That knocking bales over just left, right and centre, not being able to stack or anything. That was absolutely abysmal. Anyways, this is the last load. We're going to leave the silage out because they're wrapped, so that doesn't really matter too much, but at least we know these will be fine. But like I say, these will most likely be sold in the next episode, because that's when we will start making some money back, which is very much needed. I know we've got, let's just make sure we don't have these go nuts again like they did last time. I know we've made money and we've got money at the minute, but obviously we want to be looking at new seed drills and all that sort of thing. So come on. No. Don't you do that. Why won't this bale come off? Oh. Right, that'll do. I'm not touching any more bales today. After that poor effort. At least though, next time we'll be using the auto stacker to put them in here, the Arcus on, so they'll be nice, neat and tidy. I just hope they don't fall over like they did last time when they were out here. Right, let's have a quick look at tyre saving stock check. So wheat is on the way down, but it's up there. Straw's on the way down, but it's still up there. So we've got silage is staying, seeds are staying. What I would like to, I'll just show you quickly. If we go construction and selling points, where no, it won't be selling point. What am I thinking? Where have we containers? I would have said. So we have these ones by Omatana, but I'm using one of them in Alma, so I'll probably look at using this one. So it's just then trying to find somewhere to put this. Obviously we've got that there. Planning on another shed there, so I don't want it to be in the way over there. Up here is a bit out the way. That may get in the way of our vehicles driving to and from, but if we can put it back there, that'll make a bit of sense. Or it's putting it on one of these corners. But I'm sure we'll find somewhere. Worst comes to worst, we won't park our pickup there anymore, and we'll just put it there. But anyways, with our work and they're having a full tank, we will go make sure they're all alright. But I will just say thank you very much for watching. I hope you have liked and enjoyed the video. Put up with my terrible bale stacking. Please feel free to rate it out of 10. That'll be very interesting. And I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.